10 best places to live in Florida. For many, making the move to start a new life in the Sunshine State would be a dream come true. The cost of living in Florida is surprisingly low, and many of its suburbs and small towns have impressively low crime rates. Lots of tourism means lots of job opportunities. The state's manufacturing and financial industries are also flourishing with job openings. The weather can be temperamental, but the temperature is warm mostly all year round. Where should you start to figure out what places are the best to live? Read on for our 10 best places to live in Florida. One, Niceville. It would have been tempting to include Niceville on our list of the 10 best places to live in Florida based on name alone, but luckily Niceville has more than earned its place for other reasons. Ranked as the 9th most livable place in Florida according to Area Vibes, Niceville is simply a very nice place to be. Located in Okaloosa County, Niceville is part of the Northwest region of Florida, and its unusual name was chosen by the postmaster's daughter. In Niceville there is hardly any crime, with a crime rate that is 67% lower than the state average. Niceville is a great place to raise a family as it has an impressive school system with high school graduation rates that are 8% higher than average. Niceville is full of great amenities, and is affordable for most. Home prices are just 15% higher than the Florida average, and the cost of living is actually 6% lower. Two, Naples. Naples always pops up on Florida's livability indexes as a highly desirable place to live, and on Area Vibes Index it ranks at a very impressive number 14. Located in southwest Florida, Naples has a large population of around 200,000 people, but many of those living there disappear during the long, humid summer. Naples has a low crime rate, but at 32% below the state average it's not the lowest in Florida. It also has a good school system with a high school graduation rate that's an impressive 15% higher than the average. The city's gorgeous, pedestrian-friendly downtown area and, of course, beautiful beaches make it one of the best places to live in Florida if you can afford it. The cost of buying a home in Naples is an eye-watering 333% higher than the rest of Florida, and the cost of living is 67% higher. No wonder Naples is home to a number of millionaires. 3. Winter Springs. Winter Springs is an exceptionally livable town located 15 miles northwest of Orlando. With a population of around 35,000 people, Winter Springs is no sleepy, little village. It is a bustling town with a number of great amenities. Winter Springs is much loved for its proximity to Orlando and all that the big city has to offer, but it is far enough away from the tourist hub to have a small town feel. Crime in Winter Springs is 68% lower than the Florida state average, a huge feat considering nearby Orlando has a staggering crime rate nearly 250% higher. The schools in Winter Springs perform consistently well and enjoy a high school graduation rate that is 9% higher than the rest of Florida. House prices are just 20% higher than the state average, and the cost of living is only marginally higher, an important fact when you consider how many times a year you might be dragged along to Disney World. 4. Palm Beach. Palm Beach is the third most desirable place to live in Florida according to Area Vibes. This small town of just 11,000 people scores incredibly well on all possible quality of life factors, except for one, cost of living. Located north of Miami, Palm Beach is separated from nearby West Palm Beach and Lake Worth by the Intercoastal Waterway. Dotted with beachfront mansions, you would think that Palm Beach would be a flashing target for criminals, but the crime rate here is 54% lower than the Florida average. The schools in Palm Beach are second to none, with a high school graduation rate that is 18% higher than average. A unique island lifestyle that is still in close proximity to a number of great amenities does not come cheap, and the cost of living on Palm Beach is over 80% higher than that of the rest of Florida. Median house prices are also a whopping 403% higher than the Florida average. Five, Coral Springs. A far cry from Palm Beach, but a very nice place in its own way is Coral Springs. The small city, approximately 20 miles northwest of Fort Lauderdale, is home to over 120,000 people. Given its size, it's even more impressive that Coral Springs manages to score so well on most quality of life indicators. Area Vibes ranks Coral Springs as the 44th best place to live in Florida. Coral Springs has everything under the sun, so the city's slogan goes, and they're not wrong. Coral Springs has its own history museum, arts center, public library, and enough restaurants and entertainment venues to keep the whole family happy. As for the crime rate, Coral Springs rates an impressive 47% lower than the Florida average, and its high school graduation rate is 10% higher. Median home value is a manageable 66% higher than the state average, and the cost of living is just 16% higher, making Coral Springs an affordable choice. 6. Dunedin. Dunedin is the 51st most desirable place to live in Florida according to Area Vibes, so close and yet so far from a much coveted top 50 spot. Overall placement matters little, though, when the quality of life scores are as consistently high as they are in Dunedin. Located just north of St. Petersburg on Florida's west coast, Dunedin is home to around 35,000 people and is considered one of the best places to enjoy a laid-back Florida lifestyle on a budget. Crime rates in Dunedin are a healthy 44% lower than the Florida average, and those with children will be happy to hear that the local school system performs well, with a high school graduation rate that is 8% higher than average. The cost of a home in Dunedin is consistent with the average cost in the rest of Florida. The median household income and the cost of living is actually marginally lower, making Dunedin a very desirable place to start a new life. 7. Cape Coral. Cape Coral is known as the waterfront wonderland, a whimsical nickname for a place with more miles of canal than anywhere else in the world. A large city of over 150,000 people, located between Tampa and Miami, Cape Coral enjoys an impressively low crime rate, 47% below the Florida average. Residents of Cape Coral enjoy a particularly low tax rate, so they have plenty of money left over to spend on the great restaurants, shops and cultural venues, as well as an annual roster of fun festivals. The annual Independence Day Festival, Oktoberfest and regular art and music festivals draw crowds from all over Florida. The cost of living in Cape Coral isn't as high as you'd expect. In fact, it's absolutely average for the state of Florida. House prices and household income are only slightly above average. With its affordability, beauty, and culture, Cape Coral sounds far too good to be true. 8. Jupiter Inlet Colony. Jupiter Inlet Colony has an epic livability score with Area Vibes that makes it the 4th ranking among most desirable places to live in Florida. A tiny town located in Palm Beach County, Jupiter has around 400 residents, and they all seem to love their surroundings, as it was ranked the 9th happiest seaside town in America by Coastal Living magazine in 2012. Jupiter gets an A+ for its crime rate, which is 100% lower than the state average. There have been no crimes reported in recent years, making it one of the safest places to live in the U.S. Both the elementary and high school in Jupiter Inlet Colony perform outstandingly, with high school graduation rates currently 22% higher than the Florida average. In such a tiny and perfect oasis, soaring house prices are natural, and Jupiter Inlet is no exception, with the average house price a whopping 439% higher than the Florida average. 9. Weston. Weston, Florida is a small city of just over 65,000 people located in Broward County. Just shy of vetting spot in the area Vibe's top 100 places to live in Florida, Weston is a highly desirable place to live for reasons that can easily be measured. The crime rate in Weston is an impressive 84% lower than the rest of Florida, and the high school graduation rate is 16% higher. The people of Weston are big earners, with a median household income that is almost 100% higher than the Florida average. The unemployment rate in Weston is low, and the temperature is comfortable, rarely going higher than 82 degrees. Where Weston really shines, however, is in its culture, with a number of fascinating historical sites, museums and nature reserves bringing in tourists from far and wide. 10. Celebration. A master-planned community originally designed by the Walt Disney Company, Celebration is a perfect little town located just a stone's throw from the Walt Disney World Resort. It may feel a little like living in a show home, carefully constructed within a whole show town, but the residents of Celebration get to live and work in buildings designed by some of the best-known architects in the world. Surprisingly, the town that is actually a part of Disney World does not occupy the #1 spot on Area Vibe's Livability Index. Celebration is actually 13th. All of the quality of living stats rank high, with a crime rate that is 67% lower than the state average, and a high school graduation rate that is 18% higher. The cost of buying a home in Celebration isn't the highest on this list, at 131% higher than the state average, and the cost of living isn't so bad either, at just 29% above average. Now that's something to celebrate.